back to the Sauna series. This is episode 4, and today we're going to talk about detoxification, and then a little bit at the end we're going to talk about skin health and just some of the benefits of the infrared sauna. So the first thing about toxins. We hear this word all the time. It's a little bit played out, but I don't know what else to use. So I'm going to stick with it. Toxins are anything that are foreign, unnatural substances that we consume or absorb into our bodies, and our body is charged with getting rid of them. They're not things that are beneficial to us, and so we need to clear them out. They're so prevalent in our diet, in our skincare products, laundry detergents, hair care products, makeup. The list goes on and on and on. As far as our food supply, the use of pesticides and herbicides is far greater than it's ever been. It's really encouraging that there is this huge movement towards more organic produce, grass-fed beef and lamb, things like that. That's really, really encouraging. The problem is, and not as a scare tactic or anything, but the problem is the most harmful herbicide that of recent years is what's called glyphosate. Most people know it as Roundup. Roundup was developed not that long ago by Monsanto, and it actually was the first thing to come along and actually control broadleaf weeds in broadacre crocks, corn, soybeans, things like that, which is great. The problem is it's being found now that these glyphosates are actually really, really harmful to our gut health, gut permeability, causes disease, things like that. And what's really scary about glyphosates specifically is they're water soluble. So they can actually, they're hydrophilic, so they'll actually dissolve in water, and then that gets into the water table. So even your organic produce it does have traces of these glyphosates. So even you do your best, you stick with essential oils, you stay away from these harmful chemicals in your toothpaste, in your shampoo, things like that, all of which are great, but we're still going to be exposed to some amount of toxins all the time, just as a matter of being part of the modern world. We've got plastics, things like BPA we're hearing about all the time now. A lot of these chemicals are being taken out of, say, like canned food liners and plastic bottles, things like that, but they're still really, really prevalent. Not to mention the VOCs, volatile organic compounds, that are found in things like spray paint, cleaning products, even upholstery, things like that. People talk about that new car smell. That new car smell is actually the off-gassing of all the plastics that are inside your car. We're breathing this in. That's that smell you're seeking out. These are really harmful for our body, and they bioaccumulate, so they'll build up in our body over time and eventually cause the compromise of our health. So these toxins, they're cleared out. Your liver does a lot of work to clear toxins, your kidneys, and also your skin. A lot of these toxins are actually are stored. That's why they bioaccumulate. They build up inside of our bodies because they're stored inside of our fat cells. The ones that they can't expel fast enough will actually build up inside of our fat cells. This toxification of our bodies, it's increased over time because our chemical culture is sort of moving much faster than our bodies were evolved to adapt to handle this onslaught of all these toxins. And so our body, it tends to store them. Like, for example, DDT, which was a pesticide years ago. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it is banned in like the 70s or something. But they'll find in older people that because it has such a long half-life, you can still find traces of DDT in people's blood and urine that haven't been exposed to it for nearly 50 years. So these toxins are no joke. They have a tendency to disrupt our normal functioning of the body's systems, lymphatic system, cardiovascular system, things like this. It has a tendency to disrupt the function, which affects our homeostasis, our preferred calm state, as it were, of the body, where everything's humming along smoothly. It'll disrupt that, which eventually will relate in disease, dis-ease. When you take your body out of homeostasis for a long period of time, our body is really resilient, but when you take it out of a homeostasis for a long period of time, it'll eventually break down, and then that results in these chronic diseases that a lot of Western people, Americans, will experience. The only way to remove stored toxins from fat tissue is to mobilize the fat. So there are a few ways to do this. Number one, fat adaptation, which is to say a higher fat, low carb diet, and the carbohydrates that you do consume are naturally through root vegetables, rice, things like that. Get away from, say, like processed grains, sugar, things like that. So to stay more high fat, really high quality meats, really high quality fats, coconut, olives, macadamia nuts, olive oil, things like this. To go with that, then your body becomes more and more used to this low and slow, richer burning fuel, and as it converts its operating system to burn more fat than this glucose, the sugar, then you're mobilizing this fat. Another good way to do it is through heat stress. Heat stress can come from the activation of the far infrared spectrum, so intense exercise and sauna exposure, which is what we're here to talk about today, because we're talking about the sauna. When you activate, you're mobilizing this fat, release these toxins, you're expelling these toxins with sauna use through the skin in the form of sweat. And then as you clear a lot of these toxins out, you are reducing the workload or the stress that these toxins cause, which results in the reduction of things like reduction of colitis, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia. Even it's been shown to have huge benefits for people suffering from fibromyalgia, autoimmune diseases, which is basically your body attacking itself. You clear out a lot of these poisons, and then your body can reach homeostasis a lot easier, and then it's cruising along as it's supposed to. Another thing that I've read a lot about and I've actually tried is there are certain compounds, I'll call them, because food stops being food after you swallow. You can't taste it in your belly. It turns from food into information. And so these compounds, we call these compounds, these chemicals that are found in foods, will send a signal or tell a story to your body as far as what to do with them. One thing that I find is if you combine chlorella, which is an algae, you can get it in little tablets. They sell them on Amazon. You just want to make sure that they call it a cracked cell wall, because chlorella and spirulina are usually go hand in hand, and they have tons of huge benefits, but they have a pretty rigid cell wall. So you want to make sure that when you source these out, find something that's got, they call it a cracked cell wall, and a lot of times they'll use sound waves to sort of compromise the cell walls, which makes the healing compounds inside of this algae more bioavailable. Your body can absorb them better. But if you take these chlorella tabs, and all itty bitty tablets about the size of a Tic Tac, and I'll take a dozen or so before I go into the sauna, it'll actually increase. The chlorella is known for binding on heavy metals, so it goes in, it binds these heavy metals, it renders them inert, which is to say not harmful anymore, and then you expel them through your sweat within the sauna. So that's just one way to sort of turbocharge the detoxification process of sauna uses through these chlorella tablets. As far as the skin effects, sort of hand in hand with the whole detoxification thing, there are a lot of really huge benefits for skin rejuvenation through sauna use. The thing about, like we talked about in episode 2, talking about the infrared spectrum, is The infrared spectrum has a lot of huge health benefits that are found in sunlight, but sunlight has the harmful ultraviolet bands as well. So you've got the infrared sauna has all the the full benefits of the infrared, but no UV. So that's really good for your skin. Excuse me. And then also deep sweating, which happens inside of a pretty intense sauna session, it increases the rate at which the dead skin cells are replaced, and it also helps to flush the bacteria away from the epidermal layer. So a lot of the harmful bacteria, which I'm sorry we're covered in it, pretty much inside and out, it'll actually flush a lot of that away and clean out the pores and clear out a lot of this bacteria, which is really good for your skin. And it also clears out your sweat ducts as well. The cleansing of these pores, it'll actually increase capillary circulation, which are the itty bitty blood vessels. So it sends more blood to them. It'll increase the capillary circulation, which makes the skin feel a lot softer, and it'll look a lot clearer. Obviously, the more often that you use the sauna, the more dramatic the benefits that you'll see. But there definitely are benefits for that. That's that clearing out and this capillary, the increase in capillary circulation. That's when people talk about a glow, people's skin glowing. That's what they're talking about. And so that is something that can be achieved through frequent sauna use. Thanks so much for tuning in again. Keep an eye out for future episodes. Again, don't forget to check us out on YouTube and let us know what you think. Thanks so much. Have a great day.